All right, bang, bang, guys. It's Tom from Liquidation Motivation back at it again. A collaboration with the WHSL Market Show in Louisville, Kentucky, guys. It's the show of all show, the show that's only for liquidators. And we got another banger of an episode today, guys. If you don't know this guy, you're doing something wrong in this business, guys. I'm going to welcome to the stage one of the big dogs in the industry, Ray Todick. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, I'm doing great. Welcome. Thank you.
All right, Ray. So if you can give me a snapshot, what is Excess for Less?
So Excess for Less is a wholesale truckload liquidation company. We sell truckloads and pallets to people all over the country and probably all over the world. I do some exporting as well.
Nice. All right. So Ray, I always ask somebody, because I'm always interested in like what their journey was into liquidation, because everybody has like a different answer of how they got into liquidation. So before liquidation, what were you doing, and what was the transition in your life? I say, you know what? I just want to buy and sell this stuff for a living, man.
Yeah, so I was doing business intelligence and product management. I was working for Capital One at the time. This was like right before early COVID timeframe. And a friend of mine just was like, hey, we should sell some pallets. And I was like, why would I want to sell these wooden pallets? I don't even understand. He's like, no, like return product. And I had no idea what he was talking about. So I spent quite a bit of time like researching what this even was. I spent multiple nights waiting in line overnight at some pallet stores to like buy some pallets and sell them at flea markets and understand the process. And it took about 6 months before, from like initial conversation of, hey, we should do this thing, to then getting like a 10,000 square foot warehouse, bringing in like 7 truckloads and opening up a pallet store. That's how I started about a little 5.5 years ago. Little did I know at the time, Virginia didn't have anyone else selling pallets, and there was no customers for it. No one knew what to do to buy pallets, and so no one showed up. Like on my opening day, I had 7 people. And so this was still a side gig. I kept my Capital One job, and I was worried. And so we ended up opening up those pallets like a month and a half later, and we started our discount store. And we still did some pallets, but we sold a lot more at like a discount type store. And that's kind of where my business took off from there. And like a year and a half later, I ended up transitioning into a bin store that I still have today. Discount Depot is still a bin store that I operate, and then once we opened the full retail store, I quit my job. I got into wholesaling truckloads, started getting contracts with retailers directly, and then like a year and a half ago, I leased my first warehouse. We have almost 60,000 square feet now as well, in addition to the retail store, and it's a much larger operation at this point.
Wow, nice. Yeah, that happened fast. I want to touch on something that you said, though, that, you know, when you first started, you know, you sold stuff at a flea market, and, you know, I started, you know, I've done that the same way my whole life. It's like I was always hustling at flea markets. You know, tell me about, and I think there's something valuable in that, being in liquidation, that you understand that kind of hustle. Tell me some of the lessons you learned from there, and how that brought value into what you're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, almost everything. I mean, not every single load I've sold, but most loads I've sold, I've tried it myself. I brought it through my own bin store. I did e-commerce with it. I went to a flea market and tried it. I sold pallets. So I can resonate with my buyers. I can explain different ways to be creative, but buying those first couple pallets and learning the mistakes that buyers make and what's important. I was buying a lot at that time. I was in Virginia, driving down to North Carolina, down to Raleigh, and I would be waiting overnight to get these OPE or outdoor power equipment pallets, and try to bring stuff back with like mowers and trimmers and tools and things like that. And not everything was working. Like I had a certain expectation for how the product was going to be, and some things I could fix and some things I couldn't. And so it was how to be creative and still make money off the product and still get my money back, and realizing that not everything is going to be a huge win. But also like I got to talk to a lot of other people selling in the flea market. What are they looking for with products? So it wasn't just how do I sell the product, but it was also learning my customer, learning who am I going to market these things to, and like what's important to them. That helped me through this whole journey of like understanding the mindset of how do I take this thing and be profitable with it? How do I market to these people? And what are they thinking when they go in to buy a pallet or and such? Everyone wants to, like, once they find a good source, they don't want to like share it with people either. It's a really interesting market with all of this. So
Yeah, I think my experience as being a hustler early on, really helps you understand the buying and selling process, because we sell to a lot of little buyers in this world, and if they have that same mentality, you can teach them and share your experiences and how to be successful. Ray, I'm sure you're saying, hey, I had one booth at a flea market, and now look what I got. Right? I think that brings a lot of value to the conversation.
it's true that the bin store has also helped a lot. There's a lot of people out there that say, oh, he owns a bin store, don't buy truckloads from him because he might be taking stuff off the top. It's not the case at all. I'm moving 250 truckloads a month. I don't have time to look at every single truckload and pick and choose items, right? Like, I send truckloads directly to the store, and that's what they get. But in that process, I've had the ups and downs of bin stores. I've had trucks not show up on a Thursday, so I could like, how am I gonna restock for Friday? I've had product that showed up that wasn't good. Like, the worst load I ever started was the very first load I bought from my bin store. Just a very overpriced load of LPN, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But we probably lost $15,000 on that truck. But I had to go through those like hard learning buying decisions, and I can pass on some of that information to my buyers of what to look for, what not to look for, what's important. It's not always about price. It's really important to trust the person that you're buying from.
Yeah, 100%. How do you handle? Because new buyers in this industry, they get a load that is a marginal load, which happens all the time to us with our stores. How do you handle it whenever a customer gets that? It's like education is so key, and how do you get them to buy into the fact that, hey, sometimes the loads aren't great? They don't pay you any extra when they hit a home run on the load.
Very true. Very true. We're in like the first quarter here, and a lot of these like Amazon loads have been full of food, for example. And so like Amazon FC loads, people are hoping to get electronics and things, and instead they're getting trucks that are like 50% or more of food. And so I'm dealing with this question every day almost. And part of it is this is the seasonality of this industry. And so learning that this is seasonal and learning how to protect yourself from seasonal loads and things helps. Me doing this for 5 years, I've learned some of those seasonal challenges with different retailers of what to look out for, but also like what are different like opportunities that you can make with some of that food. There's different places you can sell it. There's ways of wholesaling it. Sometimes it just makes sense to, hey, just get what you can back out of it and move on. Like, not like you said, not every load's going to be a home run. The goal is to not lose, right? Like, you don't want to be losing on any truckload. And unfortunately, sometimes that does happen. And it like, you can only do so much on some of the loads. But a lot of it's education, helping them be creative. This business isn't as easy as people think it is with bin stores. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of hustle. If you're willing to do the work, you can make money, but like, you have to be willing to do the work.
Yeah. So how did you strategize when you opened your first bin store? What was your thought process in opening it up, and how did you do your pricing and everything like that? And what loads were you putting in there?
Yeah. So, like, if I date back to like when I first had the discount store, like bin stores were like the big craze. Everyone was opening a bin store. So we were like debating, do we move into this? Do we figure it out? So we ended up making like pallet collars around pallets and making like pallet size bins. And we just had like 18 of them to start. And they were stacked up on top of pallets. and they were just, I don't know, maybe like 6 inches tall. Like they weren't that big. And we started with like Home Depot turbo smalls, and we had different types of Amazon, whether it was LPN or FC. We didn't really know what to start with back then. I mean, we're talking I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. It was like a $7 restock day model back then. Nowadays at my store is at $12 restock, and it goes all the way down to $1. There are a multitude of different loads that you can use in bin stores. I think what's worked well for me is a mix of like Walmart, LPN, and FC. I know that different target problems or different target truckloads have been good as well. But I think being creative and trying to find something that's different helps a lot. I think there's a lot of markets that have a saturation of bin stores, and so trying to find what your niche is important as well. You want to have a good experience for the customer, but if you have the same product in your bins every single week, it's hard to get someone to buy that same air fryer every single week. So unless you have a reseller that's looking for it, the average person isn't going to keep on coming there to buy the same things. So trying to put some new stuff in, trying to mix it up definitely helps.
Nice. All right. And so you're moving 250. I can't get off that number, Ray. 250 truckloads a week. That is incredible. I mean, what?
Not a week. That's a month.
Oh, a month. Okay. I mean, that's still a lot. I mean, I don't know anybody else doing that. That's incredible. But I mean, like, how do you think your customers are successful by buying from you, Ray? What do you bring? What do you bring to the table? You think that makes you unique from other people?
I think transparency and consistency, like those two things, like people know that they can come to me and they are going to get their loads when they expect them. And the way I describe loads and the way I've explained them and used them myself, I'm very transparent about, one, what my profit margins are, and two, also like what they're expected to get and what they're expected to make from that load. So they understand their model. They know what they're getting when they do business with me. If they're not a lot of my customers aren't people that are switching from broker to broker every week or anything like that. They also know that I'm a contract holder for a lot of these programs, so they are getting it at likely the cheapest prices they can, because I'm direct. It's picking up directly from the retailer and going directly to them. And there's a lot of people that appreciate that. They know that there's not a chance for someone to touch the load and play with it or anything else. So that helps a lot.
Nice. All right. Now, I know you guys are also a heavy hitter in the Whatnot space. Tell me about your journey on Whatnot, man. I'm super impressed with what you guys have accomplished there.
Yeah, so like January 2025, we kind of dipped our toes into Whatnot. We weren't sure what to expect. We kind of opened a channel, put like 7 people toward it, and we're just like, hey, let's just try this thing out. And it kind of went off with a bang. Like we had a ton of product, and we weren't really sure what to expect. But then the first maybe in a month or 2 months, we had 30,000 followers, and we kind of just took off from there. And so it's been a journey where, like, over the past year, we've climbed all the way up to like 3 full-time channels. We're currently using 2 of those right now, but we have about 500,000 followers across all 3 channels, and quite a lot of employees dedicated just to Whatnot. It gives us a lot of different opportunities. Whatnot is one of those platforms, though, where one day it's something is extremely profitable, going great, and then the next day it's like breaking even or even losing money. And so I think it's really important to like follow the metrics, make sure you're like doing well. It's because it's live selling, everything changes so quickly. We started selling some products on there, and then there's a lot of people that started doing the same thing, and now our profitability is not the same as it was, which is why we scaled back in some areas. But I'd say it's really important to just follow those metrics and pay attention to that. Nice.
Yeah. when I look at your whatnot, when I examine your channel, man, I'm just so impressed. I'm super impressed. And you're right. You do something well, there's going to be a lot of copycats out there in this industry. So yeah. But I mean, I think your candy channel was the first channel out there that really, developed that concept of doing the box candy. And now, it's follow the leader, Ray. It's got to be you've started it. Now we got a few other people that think they can mimic you, which is merit, but I get it.
What started, like, our candy boxes are selling for $40+ a box. Now, if we run candy every day, we're getting like $10 to $15 a box, right? So the profitability, and we were doing over 1,000 boxes a day. So that's a big difference in what your returns are, what you have to be buying at. And so I just stress to people that we've learned a lot, and like for both really good and really poor decisions that we've made on there. But like, I think it's important to just pay attention to some of those metrics, because just like a bin store or anything else, you sell through product, and not everyone always knows their profitability. I think you can lose track of that along the way.
Right. So if somebody's a whatnot seller, they can come to your pallet store and they can buy pallets there for their whatnot.
Yes, I sell to many whatnot sellers for all sorts of different categories: food, jewelry, general merchandise, electronics, clothing. We sell to lots of whatnot and other e-commerce channels as well. So
nice. All right, Ray. What is the future of Excess for Less? Where do you see you going from here, Ray?
Yeah, so in the next few months, we're opening an auction house. That's the big exciting news that we're working on right now. That'll be in Richmond, Virginia, online auction house, pick up in person, and just growing our contracts. So we'll have more offerings. I'm building out our sales team. I have a couple salespeople now that work for me, and so people may have seen those on different forums and at trade shows. But just growing out our wholesale business, growing our auction house, continuing to grow on our different e-commerce channels. That's where we're headed right now.
All right, Ray. So you kind of have a specialty going for whatnot, right? You have because so many people come to me and say, I want a pallet of this, I want a pallet of that, and everything that I get is like all general merchandise. You kind of figured out the niche in the whatnot space. So what do you do for whatnot sellers that come buy from you?
Yeah, I mean, even for myself and for whatnot sellers, we take like pallets of Amazon, like FC and Walgreens and different things. We put them in our dumper and onto a conveyor, and we sort it by the category. So we have pallets of clothing, both return clothing and overstock clothing. We have pallets of food. We have pallets of drinks. We have pallets of HBA and electronics. And then there's general merchandise that none of that fits into. And that's how we make very segmented, like targeted shows on whatnot. So I'm not like, because when you get a lot of these general merchandise trucks, they have everything. Like it's really hard, unless you're trying to do like a pallet pull show or something. It's really hard to figure out what you're selling. But you really want your buyers to come for a specific thing, and then you have more people bidding on the same item. And so we've learned, like even when we're selling clothes, to sell like your mediums, large, and extra larges all together. Sell your extra small, small, mediums all together. And that way you have people that are looking for the same sizes all bidding against each other. So we've done the same when we're selling our products to help people make those shows and for us to do it ourselves.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So, okay. So WHSL, right? WHSL, you have a monster booth at WHSL this year. Tell me, I'm a big advocate of going to trade shows and shaking hands with people. Tell me what your opinion is on why should people attend the show and why should they come up and shake Ray's hand?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be my third, like I've been there every year, right? So I love the show. It's a great show for anyone in the liquidation industry or e-commerce industry, to be honest, that wants to source products of liquidation. Why it's important. There's so many people that aren't sure who's legit, who's not legit, who's a scammer in this industry. And while, yes, it's possible that someone might like throw you for a loop or something after you met them in person, you at least have a face to put to the company. And I think you can learn a lot about a company and a person just by an encounter in person. That's why I go. I want to build my brand. I want people to know who I am and get to talk to me in person. I think it's helped me grow to where I am now. And I really look forward to, I do different meetups and love doing the booth and meeting different customers, having some of my customers that I've been working with for the past year that haven't met me yet. They come to these shows and they get a chance to finally put a face to the name. I do a lot of FaceTimes and things in my warehouse, but like actually meeting me at the booth and talking about their current problems and me taking the time to help them with those, I think can go a lot further in cementing that relationship.
Yeah. And I certainly can't say enough about the show, but my favorite part is after the show, Ray. And I think that you are like the main man when it comes to the meetups after the shows, man. You are the guy that everything I go to, you're always having a meetup, man. So talk to about what are we doing in Kentucky this year?
I'm sure there's going to be a meetup at some local pub somewhere. I'm not sure exactly which one it is yet, but I enjoy networking with people outside the conference as well. Talking to people just like on the street, basically. I think you get to learn a lot more about what's somebody's like normal behavior and how they react in different situations. Just kind of like how people do business on the golf course, right? Like you want to understand how people interact when it's not like, hey, I got to look nice in a trade show, and know that you can trust them wherever you are. So I enjoy having a couple drinks and having some fun and also talking business at the same time. It's a blast. So, yep.
Yeah. So
Looking forward, it's so good.
So Matt said that you have to go to your booth in order to your booth at Excess for Less in order to get the drink tickets for that night. Is that okay? There we go. There we go. So everybody out there, you have to go see Ray at the show, get your drink tickets, and then meet later on at the meetup. You shake his hand, man, and thank him for the drink. So yeah, you've always been super generous everywhere we go for these meetups. So I'm sure that brings you a lot of value in your life and in this community. So.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the community. I've enjoyed just building our business and where we've been, and look forward to the future and working with more people. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess I can wrap up on a question like about entrepreneurship. You go from this big corporate job and now you're slinging pallets and truckloads, and it's so much more respectful to have that corporate job that you have. I mean, that's what everybody else thinks, but the freedom that we get. Talk about your, being an entrepreneur and how that's changed your life.
Yeah, there's pros and cons. Like, to be honest, like the security that I had from the corporate job was, that was easy, right? Like I could have just continued to do that and there'd be no issues, but I wouldn't have the ability to make my own schedule, get out as much as I put into a business, which as someone who's a hustler, I think that's really important. That's what drives me. If I want to make more, I just have to work more. It's not, so I enjoy the fact that I get out everything I put into this. I also feel like in this industry, it's not huge. So what you're willing to put in extra can come back at you exponentially. And so it's been able to, that's helped me to get to where I have so quickly. So
yeah,
I've enjoyed it.
Great answer. Yeah, you're only going to get out of this what you put into it, man. If I always recommend everybody, if you're not a hard worker, don't do this. Don't get in this business, baby, because it gets hard at times, and you got to keep up with all of that. Yeah.
You end up getting a lot of different product that you have to figure it out and be creative, and sometimes you have to even take a loss. But it's like everyone that works for me knows that I like to use the saying, fail fast and get up and keep on walking. So just if you're going to fail fast and move on. Don't hold it, don't hold it against you, and you just got to move on. Because otherwise it's just going to beat you up. and it's just not worth it.
All right, so Ray, thanks for coming on today, guys. If you want to meet Ray, meet him at the WHSL Market Show, April 21st and 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky, at the Convention Center. Thanks for coming on, Ray. I 100% appreciate it. You know, guys, Liquidation Motivation, a collaboration with WHSL Market. Guys, thanks for watching today. Now go out there and make some money.